All right, welcome back, guys. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We are out here. We're going to show you guys a new trail that I've never put on video before. I just came up with this a couple days ago, and I brought out my Rock Pirates RC competition truck. However, I did some upgrades to it, and it's more of a proof of concept than like a permanent change, but you guys need to check this out. So I went ahead and added rear steer on the back of this truck, but I used SCX10 2 axles, the AR44s, and then I also did a full 3-link setup in the rear with chassis mounted servo. So I've always wanted to do rear steer on an AR44. Instead of doing the axle mounted servo, I went ahead and did the 3-link because when you get your servo between the rear chassis rails, sometimes when it articulates, the servo will bump into the rails. So I did chassis mounted instead. So I've got a 3-link in the rear, and it's got full articulation. It turned out pretty good. And then I've got 3-link in the front as well. So this truck now has a winch, rear steer, and that's about it. No dig or anything like that. It does have an Element transmission in the front. And that's one thing I want to mention is that this is the Element servo tray here in the rear as the cross brace. And then it's got the metal Element panhard that I mounted. One of the screws goes through my Rock Pirates RC shock tower. The other one I had to, actually I don't remember if I drilled a hole here or not. I think I did. Drilled a hole through the chassis to mount up for the rear part of the panhard. There's a little spacer in there, and then the screw just goes into the plastic of this cross member. So pretty stoked on how that turned out. Let's go hit this trail. It is a pretty wicked one with some high risk scenarios, and we're gonna see how the rear steer handles it out here on the rocks. I do have my dog out here with me, Sydney. She's being an awesome dog running around. She's pretty good about sticking around. I don't yell at her too much. I just kind of let her go sniff and dig under rocks and stuff. She usually finds the shade whenever possible, like she is right now. So Mousetrap Trail goes up into this canyon on the left. The trail we're gonna run today goes all the way up to the top, and I think I'm gonna name this one Trouble because once you get up to the top, we're gonna drive around the edge of the cliff up there. So let's head on up in there, see what we can make happen. Now first off, these are big, scary climbs. This thing's super steep, and if you lose your truck, it's gonna tumble a ways down this one. Right here, this ledge I've got a few times before, but sometimes, man, I can't get my truck up it. And it's not really a crawling obstacle, you gotta bump through it. So right now, it's all covered with sand because I brought some friends out here the other day, and I think we all tried a little too much and knock some of the sand off. So crab on over. Sorry guys, I'm running my GoPro individually of my controller as well as controlling the rear steer with my GoPro hand, so some of the shots may end up a little weird. I apologize, but I'm doing what I can. And push up right there. See if we can't wiggle the rears through somehow. Typically I can't. Like I say, this is usually a bumping ledge. We might just push the truck up past this point. I know I've done it before. It's a really hard trail to do, is why we might just move on through here. Like I mentioned, big risk here. I'll tell you what, there's a lot more cool obstacles to go. This ledge, we're just gonna give it a little nudge. Actually, you know what? We got the winch. To hell with it. We're gonna winch. So, I'll show you guys Reef's 299 LP. Let it out. Give ourselves enough room to stop up on top of the ledge to unhook our winch. And then, man, I'm barely hanging on these rocks myself. All right, let me grab my controller. And then kind of pull my shoelace in half is what it's going to do. Okay, we made it up. Need to unhook the hook. And then this is not easy to do with a GoPro in the other hand. All right, we have a winch for a reason, right? Okay, made it up. Holy crap, I can barely stand up here. And then we got to get up another ledge. All right, now we're making progress. we're gonna get up out of here. Okay. Had to winch, but you know what? We got it on the truck, so I call that cool. I'm usually not the kind of guy who gets out there and winches, but since it's for the video, I got some buddies that they're all about it, so we'll go full nerd today. Now I can drive this with a straight axle, but I also have rear steer, so let's just crab through here. Sick, that worked perfect. Rear tire below the ledge, top tire's on top of the ledge. Straighten up. Now we need to turn our way through, and then we're gonna head up onto this ledge. Okay guys, now we're starting to get into this real high risk area because we're already 30 feet up or so, and we're wheeling off camber uphill on a ledge. So, gotta drive smart, not go too crazy, but if it's easy, then it's not fun. So, use that rear steer just a little bit to square up. Get that hook on that front driver tire. It's gonna pull the whole truck up. And we might belly out. Come on. Okay. See if we can crab across. That worked. Now we're back onto the ledge. There's some cool formations up here, which is kind of why I want to make a trail out of this. Way up on the ledge, things are getting scary now. And then we're gonna drive up a big climb. So I broke this trail open with this truck without rear steer. So I know that all these obstacles are possible without it. But like I say, I've got it, so might as well have fun with it. I'm not gonna use it here. There's a sweet spot where you get those sliders just to fit through, and that's it, and it drives out. Now, the last time I was up here, there is a bonus line off to the right in that shadow, but I tried and tried. I could not get this truck to get up and over it. I think a little bit longer wheelbase would cruise over that. So we're just gonna bypass it for now. I don't need to lose my truck on video. Although if I'm gonna lose another one, I'd prefer to have a video this time. RIP Gatekeeper. There we go, wheels up. Just get the belly to clear, perfect. That obstacle's like set up for this truck. And then we're gonna continue on. Go around that overhang. By the way, there's nothing down there, so don't mess it up. The obstacle's really not that bad, it just looks scary because you're on the edge of a cliff. And the truck cruises up through it. And my dog's over there checking out the bonus lines too. All right, bringing the truck down, swing around that little overhang. And just for fun, let's do a full U-turn. And then we're gonna back down an extra steep ledge just because. Got the forward weight bias up front, so we should be all right here, plus the rear steer to point us where we want. Throttle out saved us, but I don't know if you can control that. So the reason I come down is because I tried to side hill the other day and I almost lost the truck. So coming from the bottom, get your forward angle, makes things a little easier for you. Like I say, we're wheeling on the edge of this whole top, so like everywhere we go basically is a cliff. Mousetrap is down in the bottom of that. In fact, my favorite rock formation's right there. Come here, dog. And then we've got to work. We've got to work our truck up into here. So let's use the rear steer, help pivot the truck. Uh-oh. Okay, that didn't work out so hot, did it? I wonder if I could just wiggle my rears. That's so funny because I've done this drag axle and no problem. Okay, attempt number 3 here. Okay, now we're kick the rears over. We're trailing, we're not competing, so reverses, who cares? This is absolutely one of the sketchiest spots on the trail. You got to get your front end up in here, and it's a really tough obstacle, and it is real high consequence. Okay, straighten up the rears. We'll get the front end through before we start our climb. That's it, and then we're going to turn into it. Just let it work, let it eat. That's it, got the hook. It's a balance of going straight and turning. I'm pulling that front tire up in the air when it starts to grab. Yeah, let's get a shot of that. The front tire's in the air, however that back right's gonna hit and settle it down. And then it's just a balance of going up and not turning too much. Bellying out. Should just pull it up. Whew. Getting anxious on that one. That's a pretty wild climb, guys. We can see where we're at, and that there is nothing down there, so pretty fun though. This is another really cool formation that's just fun to drive on. So we'll get more of a top view here. Slip that front tire in as far as you can and then turn into it. That's gonna lift that rear. Rock slider doing its job. And we just wanna get this front left to settle down into that little crack if we can. Come on. It's not liking it. So let's use the old, there we go. That's all we needed, was just point it at the ledge for a second, get up and out of there. Rears are not straight. That's it. Oh, yikes. Crabbing uphill apparently. Come on, truck. Sweet, 10-2, got it done. Man, this thing wheels good. All right, boys. Let's get the rears kicked out. Got to point this thing downhill, straight towards the cliff. And then make the turn, because there is a drop off in there where there's just no rock. There we go, got her done. All right. This is a fun one because there's just barely enough to hang on here. I don't know if my capper would fit through here. See if we can recover it. Come on. Those rears are not in a good spot. I think they brought them back. Whoo! There would have been no backing up to save that line, man. Nice, nice, nice. Good save with the rear steer. Glad I had it here today. Right, so on our drive in, we were right here. We've rounded the corner and made it all the way up to here. I'm going to show you guys this next obstacle. I have never gotten it clean. I also haven't tried it with rear steer. It always tips over. So luckily there's a ledge down here for me to stand on, and I can hold on and catch the truck if I need to. So let's see if we can like kick our rear crazy high up in here and then set the front down somehow. Problem is with the rear higher, it's even more sideways. Okay, I think we might have it. That rear tire's in the air though, so we need to stop that from doing whatever it's doing. Try and crab out of this. Once we set the rears down, I think we can do pretty much whatever we want. Rears are wedged in and actually holding the truck in place. It's very possible that I could flip it right here though. You guys can tell with how slow I'm driving that this is real sketchy to me. There we go, crab out. Although we're still not lined up correctly. So straighten up the rears, try and get that back tire to settle, man. That's it. We're out, we made it, we got it clean. First try with the rear steer. And like I mentioned, it's more of a proof of concept. This is not gonna be a permanent change on this truck. Steer it on down, chase this ledge around. You know, whatever. We can drive up in here all crooked and sideways if we need to. That doesn't really scare me. All right. We're actually not lined up well at all for this next climb, so we're gonna have to do a U-turn, or we could just back in. So let's try and just back in. And that rear pointed where I need it, keeping the front high by the wall. Just moving the steering is all I'm doing there. Truck letting go and sliding down. Basically gonna crab around this corner. Just gonna trap that front tire up on this corner and get the hook. And just kind of let the rear rotate around while the front doesn't do anything. I've found if you give it just nice even throttle like this and you wiggle your tires in the right spot, that the fronts don't ever climb. But the rear just forced it over the diff. Hello, dog. Say hi to everybody. Take it easy there, champ. She's coming in for pets, but on the edge of a cliff. All right, kick the rears over, made it around the corner. This is a safe area to back down into, and then we've got to make it up the next climb, which is covered in moss, which is always slippery. I really kind of wish I had like a leash for my truck for stuff like this. But that should be it. Come on. Yeah, then we can go high on that ledge. Get ourselves a good hook up there. Pull the rears up and out. And we made it around the top of the world. You know what? I haven't really come up with like the set of obstacles after that. So let's just run these real quick, see how they do. Bring it around this point. Try not to fall. Just enough room for the AR44s. Squeak past. The rears might actually climb on that. Not too bad. And we can always just drive down and around the next corner as well. You know what, let's turn into this and bring that front end up and over this ledge. Ooh, a lot of strain, a lot of traction, but got her done. Just about tipped there, but so let's kick the rears towards the wall to at least get the belly under on the slider, and then bring the rear back. Pretty wicked looking picture there. Now, I don't know what to do here. It's like it wants to tip, but I can't quite figure out what it wants. Just further forward was all it needed. Just barely staying on this ledge. Luckily this truck side hills so well. Bring the rears down to try and level out the truck somewhat. But I also want to keep the fronts up. I'm gonna have to throttle out here in 3, 2, 1. Nice. Never driven those before. Now we can bring it up the ledge. Well, let's try that ledge again. Sweet. Touch the front end in here. Get the rears worked under the ledge. There's not a body on the rear, really, so I can do that. Hook the front tire. Need to correct the rears. The front tires don't want to hook on rock. There she goes. And I think we can call it the end of the trail there because the exit's straight down, but it's kind of impossible. So we'll work on that one later. For now, we'll just take a look at this view. Pretty cool. Well guys, hope you enjoyed the new trail. Hope you learned something about the 3-link rear steer on the truck, that it's actually possible if you just have the right combination of parts. Like I said, I use the Element metal panhard mount, and then I use the AR44 axles, 3 links. For the 3-link, all I did was remove the 4th link on the rear axial setup because the SCX10 front and rear axle have the same link mounts. So it's super simple. You just pop one out of there and it's ready to rock and roll. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Drop a comment down below what you think of the new setup as well as the trail. Greatly appreciate your time. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.